DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the Sanders campaign have had their issues, to put it lightly. Wasserman Schultz was critical of Bernie Sanders for not saying enough about the ruckus that unfolded at the Nevada convention over the weekend. Sanders' campaign responded.
We could have a long conversation just about Debbie Wasserman Schultz and how she's been throwing shade on the Sanders campaign since the very beginning. Whether it was the debate schedule that were very few and far between and scheduled on weekends when no one was going to be watching, whether it was when they shut off the Sanders access to his own data and we had to sue them in federal court to get it back, whether it was these joint fundraising agreements with the Hillary Clinton campaign, which are taking money away from state parties and sending it to the DNC. And look, it's not, I got to say, it's not the DNC. You know, by and large, people at the DNC have been very good to us. Debbie Wasserman Schultz really is the exception.
Needless to say, the progressive left would like to see Wasserman Schultz booted from the chair and from Congress, and she faces a stiff primary challenge at the end of August from Tim Canova, who joins us tonight from Miami. Mr. Canova, good to have you with us tonight. These recent dust-ups that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has had with the Sanders campaign, and clearly she has been a staunch supporter of Hillary Clinton, does that present a problem for her, and how would you use that if you are? Good to have you with us tonight.
Well, thank you, Ed. Nice to be with you. You know, most people know Debbie Wasserman Schultz as the head of the DNC and her leadership, or failed leadership at the DNC. But a lot of folks don't realize that she's been a very ineffective and unreliable member of Congress, not representing the interests of her own constituents. She takes millions of dollars from the biggest corporations and the largest Wall Street banks, and she's been pushing a corporate agenda over the interests of her own constituents. And that's what I've been campaigning on.
Well, you've also been spending a lot of money, more so than what most people do in a primary challenge. Are you going to defeat Debbie Wasserman Schultz for this seat?
Yes, we are going to defeat her on August 30th. We're spending a lot of money because we're raising a lot of money. We're raising it the way Bernie Sanders has been raising money. I'm not taking any money from any corporation, any corporate PACs. We've got over 56,000 individual contributions with an average size of about $18 or so, and we've raised over $1 million in barely 4 months.
So is this a microcosm of Sanders-Clinton establishment versus non-establishment candidate?
Well, you know, I don't know if I'd say it's a microcosm. I think we've seen this anti-incumbent mood building for years. 2 years ago, Eric Cantor, the second-ranking Republican in the House, lost to a little-known college professor who he outspent 40-1. And it's not just Bernie Sanders. You see on the right the rise of Donald Trump. I think folks are just really tired of establishment politicians who take a lot of corporate money, they promise a lot, but they're just kicking the can down the road and not helping working folks.
Mr. Canova, where has Debbie Wasserman Schultz been wrong with her constituents?
Well, on issue after issue, what got me involved in the race was her vote to fast-track the Trans-Pacific Partnership. More recently, she's gotten a lot of bad attention, and I've made sure she has gotten bad attention for pushing a Republican bill that would prevent the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau from regulating payday loans. She's voted to prevent that same bureau from regulating against racial redlining in auto loans. And I got to tell you, as a professor here, I've been around college students for years. This is an awful jobs market. The U6 unemployment rate in my district is over 11%. And Wasserman Schultz, like most incumbents, are just oblivious to this jobs crisis that's hitting this generation very hard.
All right. I assume there'll be a debate before August 30th, and we'll follow the story. Mr. Canova, good to have you with us tonight. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ed.